Day 4 at Microsoft Ignite 2018 in Orlando, Florida, and just because the big announcements have kind of stopped, doesn't mean we have to. In this episode of Azure This Week, today we have 3 guests on the show. We have Jeff Hollan of Azure Functions fame, we have Asim Hussain, who is a cloud developer advocate in the web space, and we have Yochay Kiriaty, who does a lot in the serverless space as well. And I can't wait to see what they have to say, although I've already seen it. But you'll see in a minute. It's a public holiday in Australia, so we got Camilla editing it. Hi,
Thank
Camilla.
you, Camilla. Camilla, you're the best.
Day 4 of Microsoft Ignite, and I'm here again, and I found this guy.
Yes.
Jeff Hollan, Senior Product Manager, is that right?
Yeah,
For
that's right.
Azure Functions?
Azure Functions.
So you can tell me how to set up a VM.
That's exactly right. Only servers all the time, because that's what we love. I do. I spend all my day talking, loving all the stuff a Cloud Guru loves, serverless, yes. The next greatest things.
Awesome.
And it's funny, I actually do have a session in an hour talking about how you can use serverless to help manage your servers, but really it's a little bit of a bait and switch, because we're like, but while you're at it, just throw them away. Just You don't need them anymore.
See that delete button? Click. Yeah. Exactly. We obviously Ignite. Lots and lots of cool stuff has happened, and I know because we talked about this the other day that Azure Functions V2 is out.
That's right.
What does that mean for the person that may not have done any Azure Functions?
Yeah, so we rewrote the entire host from the ground up. In a few ways that it helps the user is it allows us to do more languages and new modern languages. So you could write like Node 10 or Node 8. We're now running on .NET Core 2.1. So there's a bunch of performance improvements there too, if you're working anything with .NET. Then we just also have it gave us the chance to do a lot of fit and finish type work. We really improved how we do monitoring. There was a demo we showed in our session on Tuesday where you can actually plot out how all of your functions in a solution talk to each other. So you can say like function A called function B, which dropped a queue, which function C picked up, and trace the entire life cycle. So we built those kind of like correlation pieces into 2.0. So there's kind of a bunch of features that we all piled up and we were like, put a ribbon on it and said this is 2.0. But it's good, it's better. You should try it out, honestly, if you haven't yet.
It sounds good, right? Because it's like 2 is better than 1.
We had the same, and we were going to skip a number, like it's the cool thing to do with iPhones or Windows versions, but we decided to just go with the next incremental one.
A lot of our students do serverless, right? It's kind of where we came from. So it's good to see that we get Azure Functions, like all the cool stuff is coming there as well. Anything else you want to mention in terms of functions?
Those are the big ones. I would just say keep track of the announcements. There's been some blog posts that have been posted. There'll be even more goodness coming. Actually, the only one I would mention, one of the other things we did with the 2.0 thing is we recreated our quick start experience. So if you go to like azure.com and create a brand new function, which you can do from like azure.com, but you could also do from VS Code or Visual Studio. But specifically, if you go to azure.com, we kind of give you this nice guided experience now to help you get up and running. Before, it was almost embarrassing, like you would create a function app and it wasn't super clear, like what do I do next?
Yes.
We've given a lot more hand-holding and guidance. So it's just another really good opportunity if there's someone who hasn't worked with serverless or you're trying to get a coworker to try this out. It's worth giving it a shot. Go right to azure.com and it's some new experience. It's 2.0, it's new, it's brand new.
And we've just got a new course on Azure Functions on a Cloud Guru as well.
That's right.
By Dean Bryant. So there's a lot of goodness in this space.
Yeah, and a blog post too that I saw we're checking out about lessons learned from a year in Azure Functions.
Totally.
So check both those out.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Great chatting with
Cheers.
you. Enjoy the rest of your week.
I will. I'm here with Asim Hussain. I hope I pronounced that right.
That's right, yeah.
We're still at Microsoft Ignite, obviously, and Asim's a cloud developer advocate with Microsoft. But what does that mean? What do you actually do?
All right. So we are a new team, very, very new organization at Microsoft. We've only been around for about a year. When I was interviewing for the job, they were like very, very specifically explain the word advocate to me, because we had like evangelist before, but now we have this term advocate, and it was specifically there's supposed to be a two-directional thing. And that's why we sit inside the engineering organization. Previously, we would be speaking to people, perhaps not feeding anything back.
Gotcha.
We're specifically created to feed information back to the product team. So we have regular meetings. Different people in our organization have meetings with different PMs inside the organization for our specialities. My speciality is JavaScript, or I'd more likely say web technologies.
So I know you've done 2 sessions at Ignite, which is, this event still blows my mind. It's massive. What was your message in those sessions?
I have 2 kind of things I talk about these days, to be honest with you. And the first one is my belief that static sites, and by static sites, not just kind of this classical way of static sites, which is kind of 25-year-old technology, but modern static site, SPA, like a single page application, is a static site. You need to host it on something that's optimized for static sites, which for an Azure is Azure Blob Storage. The kind of magic thing I talk about is that how I think that's so tightly related to serverless, right? I consider static site hosting serverless technology. And that's why it just meshes so nicely with serverless technology and Azure Functions in particular, and also logic apps, which I think is not enough people talk about logic apps in Azure. We speak to logic apps PM, and I'm like, why is nobody talking about logic apps? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe it's your job to figure that out, Asim. So we're trying to like figure out how to. So I talk about logic apps a lot.
I think there was just an announcement on some new features in logic apps as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, this gets dangerous because I know stuff that I probably shouldn't.
There's new stuff in logic apps. Should we go with that?
Yeah,
go with
there's
that.
new stuff in logic apps.
Thanks a lot, Asim. That's all for this time, I guess.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Enjoy the conference. I'm here with Yochay from Microsoft. You are a principal product manager.
Indeed.
In which area?
So these days I'm on the Azure Bot service team.
Okay.
And I work primarily on the bot framework, which is the developer experience of building awesome conversational experiences.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've actually built a couple of bots, but they've all been kind of FAQ bots.
Yeah.
And it feels a bit like there's so much more I should do.
There is so much more you can do, right?
Like what?
So you should probably add language understanding on top of that, right? And then you can combine them both. So you can have question and answer for whatever question and answer you have, and then language understanding will understand customer intents, like book a table, order a pizza, send an email, or whatever you want, and then you can have a dialogue.
That's very cool, yeah. It's I think bots are a bit misunderstood, but that's probably a conversation for another day. So this is the last day of Ignite. We're on day 4. Is there anything that's come out, like announcements or anything, that you have sort of particular grasp, like this is really cool?
Oh, on that part. So there are 2 announcements.
Sure, okay, 2.
One very long. Anyway, so we shipped the bot framework SDK v4 on Monday. Last Friday, but Monday. So we have cool tools and samples and awesome stuff. So you can have samples that shows Q&A and Luis combined together to answer your question, like book a table and cancel and help and all that, which is awesome. So if you really want to go, and you can basically find them on GitHub under github.com Microsoft Bot Builder. So bot builder, one word, will be awesome. My previous team, Azure Functions, has also released, right? So they have finally Azure Functions V2 is out. Yay!
Yes, yeah. We spoke to Jeff Hollan this morning as well, and he was like, "Yay! Finally!"
Yes.
So
it's a long story. You know, I left the team, so it took them a very long time to get to where they are and so forth. That's what happened when your talent goes. But no, so it's really cool. They have some cool, super cool improvements for deployment and management. And there was an internal session. If you are in function serverless on top of the awesome bot framework, then go see both of them. Yeah,
cool. Is there anything that's coming up in the future? Have you guys got any roadmap that you can share about bots at all?
Yeah, bots are awesome. We released a version that supports C# and Node for JavaScript. And Python and Java is coming up probably around December. And with that, we're just going to add a lot more into manually managing and your bots, because a bot, as you say, it's a longer conversation, but a bot is an app basically, HTTP back and forth with with your device or your browser and so forth. But a bot has a lot of moving parts, right? It has to be hosted somewhere for compute. You need Luis for language understanding. You need Q&A. You need, App Insight for telemetry. You need storage, data. You need a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of moving parts there. And this release was mainly around bringing everything together into a cohesive story, like all the tools and the setup and all of that. So we're going to probably go to the next level in terms of, quality control, A/B testing, telemetry, all that goodness.
There's lots to do.
Lots to do.
All right, that's awesome. Thanks very much, Yochay. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's it for Microsoft Ignite here in Orlando, Florida. This has been day 4, and we've had 3 amazing guests on the show. We had, first of all, Jeff Hollan, we had Asim Hussain, and we had Yochay Kiriaty talking about everything Azure, especially serverless and web development. So until next week, keep being awesome, Cloud Gurus.